AOA podcast, Friday show. Look who's back in the saddle. Frankie's
happening.
It's the black t-shirt episode. I hope you're all wearing black t-shirts.
You might not be able. I think this might
Actually,
be
yours
navy
is blue. Yeah, yours is very. Yeah, you're right. It looked black to me at first, but it is navy blue. You're correct. I'm colorblind.
Very dark blue.
I don't see color.
That's good.
Lots to discuss today on the rundown here. The Diddy trial, closing arguments. We'll recap quickly for you. Breaking news: Meghan Markle's a fraud.
Stop it, you. Shut your mouth.
Frankie, I can't wait to see what the Meghan lovers
say to us now. I want to hear. I got to hear what your evidence is.
Oh, baby, not my evidence. Proof. Cold, hard proof. New look for Starbucks in our neck of the woods, actually, Bridgehampton. They got the new Starbucks, and we'll show everybody that. The Trump phone trouble supposed to be made in the USA.
Will you stop bringing them up, and I'll stop talking about them?
I'm focused on the phone. I'm focused on the phone.
Sure.
This airline employee crazy rumor that was confirmed. I am stuck in an internet. Not that I'm in an internet romance. I'm stuck in someone else's internet romance, and I don't know if it's real or not. So bringing it to the table, letting everybody judge. Frank's a Mets fan, but you're gonna love this Yankee giveaway. It's the best I've ever seen. We will get into other sort of topics and such, and most of all, we'll have Aaron C up later on for a big time AOA game time podcast.
You got to work on that.
The podcast?
That whole jumping to the thing.
Did I jump too quick? I got to wait a second. I jumped too quick.
You got to give it you have to. So that's a podcast, and then hit the thing.
I finished too early. Not uncommon. Right. By the way, Frankie was telling me before the show. See, everybody talks about Pride Month at the beginning of the show. But Frank said, I didn't want to mention this at the beginning of the month to just be with all the other people that pile on that, bandwagon. But he said to me, I have been masturbating to gay porn all month just to show my support for the Pride community. And I thought, that's nice. That's a really cool gesture. Record-breaking orgasms. How many times have you orgasmed to gay porn this month, Frank? Because I know you're a big time, you're a big equality guy in what do they call that? In inclusivity.
Okay.
Should I run those jokes by you before?
Those are all fantastic. To be very clear, we did not discuss anything of the sort before the show, after the show, during the show, or ever.
I might have wrote that.
You might have just come up with that. And
yeah.
Try to.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hey.
Anyway, Diddy's closing arguments. So I laughed at that. I laughed at Diddy's closing arguments almost as hard as I laughed at my own joke just now. Because
what could the argument be?
The guy.
He's gonna come up to like my cousin Vinny. Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you. That's what else is he? What could he say?
What else could he possibly say? Yeah. Well, the Mark Agnifilo. I don't know. I guess I'll learn how to pronounce his name at some point. He encouraged the jury to find the courage to find Diddy not guilty. I thought that was such a funny line.
That will take a lot of courage. I got to tell you.
You guys have to dig deep to find the courage.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
On top of, if you dig through move aside all the evidence and all the witness testimonies, everything all the pictures, all the video, whatever you've seen, just push it aside and find that courage to say, I don't believe any of it. And not get, okay.
And I wasn't in the courtroom, but my guess is he used the very animated voice and then the soft voice, just like you did just now, because you almost have to do that when you're conning people, right? I feel like that's part of a good con delivery.
Yeah. Plus, it's like a big. They're going to remember this before over the other person's. Remember what I'm saying. I'm going to make a big show of it.
Right.
Well,
You know what I found really interesting? The prosecution did their closing arguments on Thursday, and it
Mm,
was a 5-hour long closing argument. That's a long
dude,
time.
that's a long time to wrap it all up.
Wrap it up, baby. You write that thing and it's 5 hours. It's time to put that shit into ChatGPT and be like, hey, bullet point this for me so I can be in and out in 35 minutes, please.
I mean, what could you say in hour 4 that you didn't cover in hour 2?
Right.
What are you saying for that long? I mean, that's just one person talking for 5 hours.
Brutal.
What the hell are you saying?
Yeah, that's brutal to make them sit through that. Like it's almost counterproductive. Like we've all been in the meetings where it's like, I'm telling you, I won't be in a meeting if it's more than 50 minutes. If you are hitting an hour and 10 minutes of a meeting, I'm out. And you know what I've noticed too? Not that I'm in a ton of meetings these days, but I do sit in some meetings with people, podcasts, all this stuff. And you look around the room or you look on the Zoom and everybody's checked out at an hour and 10 in. Like there's not anybody that's
Well,
even interested anymore.
well, the problem with I think a lot of meetings is you've got a lot of different people in them, and sometimes the meeting only focuses on a handful of people at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the time, everybody's just like waiting for their turn to be part of the meeting. And let's say it's an hour-long meeting. Your turn might take 10 minutes, and then you got to sit through the rest of it and go, all right, none of this concerns me. I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Yeah, and you just don't even like I'm having a little bit of a rough day today, and so I come home from a meeting, and tonight's the NHL draft. The Islanders had the first pick. Congratulations to Matthew Schaefer. He got selected. It was kind of a sweet story. Matthew Schaefer, this hockey player, his mom. Okay, you know when you're a hockey player, you go live with other families sometimes, right?
No.
You're playing somewhere, like, and the other families like take you in and like let you live there while you're playing for a team. They call it like I think a billet is what they call it, like a billet family. This poor kid, his billet mom dies. 3 months later, this kid's mom dies of after like a 10-year battle with cancer.
Dude.
It's like such an even kill, nice kid. The Islanders draft him. Unbeknownst to him, they put a cancer ribbon on his jersey, and as soon as he saw it, he kissed it, and he just started bawling, crying. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's gonna be crazy.
This is my hero.
Yeah, I swear to God, this is so good. Why did I start telling it? Oh, anyway, so Cuddles is like telling me some story about some kid of my son. And I just looked at it. I'm like, I don't care. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I just don't care. I can't pretend to care right now.
No more real estate up here.
It's done. It's done. So I'm a little punchy this episode, Frankie. See, I apologize.
All right. I'm glad we're going to talk about Meghan Markle next.
Yeah. When I saw that, when I got my hands on this Meghan Markle bit, oh my goodness gracious. Let's move right over to that. In fact, last thing on Diddy is that that's it. It was prosecution closing arguments yesterday. The defense went today. The jury will start deliberating on Monday, and we can have a verdict before the July 4th holiday, which is unbelievable.
Let me ask you this. Does the defense's case hold water?
Oh my God.
I don't think it does.
We might have to watch My Cousin Vinny over the weekend.
It's called disclosure, you dickhead.
Nice. We also should get more of My Cousin Vinny clips. Would be great.
Yeah, at least one more. I mean, we only have the one, right?
One.
There's so many clips you could use.
I know. All right, on to Meghan Markle.
Here we go. Buckle up, everyone.
Stretch the fingers here. Let me get ready. Okay.
I don't know anything about this, so this is all going to be news to me. Let's see what you got.
You're going to love it. I can't take credit for this. Again, I don't care about her. It's none on me. I'm trying to save you people from a scam artist. But according to The Sun, they've located the company that is making Meghan Markle's tea. And they discovered that she is tripling the price, slapping her label on it, putting it on her website, and letting you stupid suckers out there pay triple the amount for the same friggin' tea that they sell regular from their own store. This has been 1,000,000% confirmed. They have the tea company. They know exactly who it is. It's a company called the Republic of Tea, and they sell Meghan sells a dozen tea bags for $12. The Republic of Tea sells their tea for $12, but it comes with 36 tea bags instead of just 12 tea bags.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Now, this is all right. You said it's 1,000,000%. It's how do we know that it's? I mean, isn't there some kind of I don't know. This is a client. You can't get that info kind of thing going on. How do we know this is legit?
There's no non-disclosure between the company and Meghan Markle. Republic of Tea is her supplier. Now, full disclosure. What I just described is called white labeling. It's not uncommon. Lots of companies make something, they sell it to other companies who put their labels on it, they mark it up, and then they sell it their own way. White labeling is not uncommon. What's super uncommon is for a celebrity who is introducing their own lifestyle brand to white label, because usually what they're doing is coming at it from a different angle, whether it's organic or non-GMO or whatever they're trying to do, whatever gap in the market that they're trying to fill. They have to go out of their way to do that, in order to achieve the goals beyond the company that they've started, in order to do it. Again, like Goop has a purpose. Who's Jessica Biel? I think it was Jessica Biel or the other girl.
What?
One of them started like a juice company for kids, and it had no bad stuff. It was like real juice for kids. It has a purpose. That's what these celebrity brands usually typically are. You look at Matthew McConaughey, he's making tequila now. No additives, no bad stuff, in the tequila. Like, he's legit making the tequila. Lots of these celebrity or lots of companies, I should say, they just buy a juice, they age it or whatever they do. They put the finishing touches. A lot of the wineries do that too. A lot of vineyards are fake, is what I've learned. A lot of vineyards are fake. They buy grape juice, they put it in their own barrels, they let it sit for a little while, then they do the last 10 minutes of the process, and then they label it and they call it their own little vineyard. So that kind of stuff happens all the time. But again, it doesn't happen with the way she makes her approach of it's her lifestyle brand, and she's working so hard, and there's lots of things, and she's got the kids on her hip as she's taking meetings and all this stuff. You bought something from somebody else, you marked it up, and you're selling it. It's Republic of Tea. Everybody can go buy it for a third of the price than what Meghan Markle sells.
How is
fraud?
How could that be? Like, the tea company, like, I'm sure that she had to, or her company, or whoever had to go to this tea company and say, we're going to buy your tea and mark it up.
Right.
Now, there's got to be some kind of deal, and they have to work out some kind of legal thing where they're allowed to do that. You can't I can't buy Snapple, rip the label off, put my own thing on and sell it. I mean, there's got to be some kind of contract or whatever for her to be able to buy something, take the label off, put hers on, and sell it, right?
Yeah, what I often wondered, that exact thing. You ever see these people that customize Nike sneakers? Like, they'll paint it or they'll do it. I'm like, how are you not getting sued? That doesn't make any sense to me. But there is some protection in that.
I think it's more of like, if you buy, like, let's say you buy the Nikes, and then I could paint it for you for a price. I don't think it's me selling you the Nikes as much as I'm selling you the painting,
the art on the Nikes.
The art.
I think that's how they get away with it.
Yeah, I'm not selling you sneakers. I'm selling you the artwork.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. But like I said, white labeling is a common thing, but usually you enter into some sort of an agreement with the company who's purchasing it and everything. But here's how they found it. They found it because people think I'm obsessed. I'm not obsessed. Some person went into the source code on her website and discovered that they found like Republic of Tea in the source code somewhere, whether it be from an image or whatever it was. And it just goes to show you how dumb her team is that they named it the original company or whatever they did. And that's how they found out. And then they went to the Republic of Tea site and then they saw the same exact tea bags. Now, the Sun, give them credit, they called Meghan's people, and somebody in her camp, they're protecting their source, but somebody in her camp said that, yes, the Republic of Tea supplies the tea. However, it's Meghan's own blend. Bullshit. That's exactly what you say when you're caught dead to rights and you have to kind of admit it and you're trying to save face.
Could that be possible that there's an added ingredient in it? No? What?
Yeah, there is an added ingredient. Deceit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit is the added ingredient.
No, but what legitimately could there be? Like, what if there is? What if they added a different flavoring or I don't know what the hell you put in tea?
I bet you know what? I bet you're right. I bet you they added the edible flowers that she bought off of Amazon that she put into smaller bags and also marks up for people.
Blend them shits up.
Yeah. She is
you never know.
Fraud. A fraud. And you could go, look, I'll take you, you can go into our social media right now because every time we say something about Meghan Markle, it goes crazy viral. We have it on Instagram, on TikTok, we have it going viral. There's another clip from last week going viral again. And you got to see these people. A lot more people are coming around and they're on our side. But there's these people that are like, leave her alone. I got called a racist again. You weren't in this clip, so I can't claim that you are. But I got called a racist again. I got called a bigot again. Yeah, she's out there trying to do her own thing. She's inspirational. I mean, it's like these people are fucking delusional. And then somebody told me, I can't confirm this, but somebody told me that when the latest round of items on her site went live, there wasn't like a cap on how much you could buy. So like you could literally just select whatever. And so they selected 100, like the thing went up to 100. And then an error message popped up that it was like, there's only 50 available. And this is like the second it went on sale. So Max, she's selling 50 of each of these products and then going around and telling everybody it's sold out. And it was such a huge, wow, I can't believe we sold out again. You have 3.9 million followers. You're selling 50 of something. Of course there's way more than 50 delusional people in this world that are following her and buying this bullshit. I rest my case. I feel like you have to find the courage in you, crazy people, to realize that this woman is a fucking fraud and this is all cash grab.
I wish you can get this worked up about something that actually matters, like the president being a gigantic fraud. Why wouldn't you be able to show this kind of passion for something that could actually affect everybody's life?
Buckus, no, that doesn't mean anything. Presidents come and go. We got to stop this crazy asshole in her tracks right now. We got to do it. We got to stop. No, I'll tell you what. I got mad at some other guy today. I'm trying to be more fun in the comments, and I'm trying not to read the negative ones. But this guy goes, so the clip of the Meghan Markle thing was, I said, nobody's getting upset over Meghan Markle. I said something to the effect of like, she's got just as many scams. Oh, everybody gets crazy over Donald Trump's scams, and yet nobody cares about Meghan Markle. And she's just as deceitful. Some guy writes, "Oh, I would agree with you, except clearly you have TDS." And I'm like, fuck off. First, I hate when people find one clip and they just make these mass assumptions like, must be racist, must be TDS. Like, watch another clip before you just fire off at the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the dude. I mean, you got these people who have. I mean, just for a second, you have these people who have MAGA head, wearing all these things, clothes with a million flags going, you have Trump derangement syndrome. It's like, which one of us has Trump derangement? Says Trump. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's a good point.
So,
That's a really
you can't, you have to take all this stuff with a grain of salt. There's wacky people out there, and they're going to criticize. You could say, clouds are beautiful, and someone is going to call you an asshole for that.
yeah.
You could say a puppy is cute, and they're going to say you're a dick. It doesn't matter.
It's unbelievable to me because listen, look, there are people that I don't like, right? And there are people that I don't agree with some of the things that they do. But I recognize talent, ability, business savvy, like there's, I don't know, you name it. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. I like Mr. Wonderful. I don't like everything he says. He says some crazy shit. One of the craziest things he's ever said was, he goes, hockey players shouldn't have contracts. You should just pay them per goal. I'm like, what planet do you live on where you're paying for? That'd be like saying, we're not going to pay Tom Cruise $20 million to be in our film. We'll pay him after the to see what the open is, and then we'll decide. We'll see how many stunts he does, and then we'll decide. Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, you got to be realistic. But Kevin O'Leary says a lot of other crazy things, but like, I can shit on him and disagree with him, but I recognize he has talent and ability. He's got a business savvy to him. There's an appeal. I get people liking him, even though he's not my cup of tea. There is not one redeeming factor about Meghan Markle. Not one. She's not a talented actor. She is not a business person. So far, the biggest thing that she's been successful in is screwing people out of money and breaking up the royal family. I mean, that's an accomplishment. It's a sad accomplishment, but it's an accomplishment. It's not nothing. Exactly. It's not nothing. Very well. It
takes some kind of effort.
Very well said. And she got in there like a little scientist with her little, just boop, 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 put these little things in his head and got him to blow up his entire family, and
that's,
his relationship.
All right, yeah. For people who are like, why is Anthony shitting on Meghan Markle? I think it all obviously all stems from that. Her taking, breaking up the royal family is where it started, where she became notorious and just very, shown in a negative spotlight. Just, this is what she did. She kind of stabbed the queen in the back a few times with some stuff, little things here and there, but stuff that kind of matters to the royal family. I think there was an example is like, I think the queen was like, if you could not, I may be getting the details wrong here. If you could not name your child Lilibet, because that's her name and it's very special and important to her, and she wants to, just that's the only, and then she named the daughter Lilibet. Again, but you can name your kid what you want, but there's little things like that just, just a little, little shots here and there,
The thing that sent me overboard was the day she did a podcast about the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and she pretended to be a victim for having to hold his face on the stage, and she was like, they objectified us or whatever it was, like they just like wanted like for our bodies or whatever, and I'm like, and this was right around the time where the Epstein stuff was going crazy, and literally people were coming out of the woodworks going, he trafficked me to all these wealthy men and I was abused. And she's out there going, isn't it terrible that I had to stand there in a dress next to a suitcase? Like, how could they objectify people? I feel so and it's like, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. There's a victim in your relationship. It's your husband. That's the victim. You're not a victim. And there's more victims now who purchase these products, which, by the way, we're 3 weeks running. And every time, this is why I'm in the comments more, because every time somebody supports her, I write back, can you tag me in a video where somebody is opening one of her products and using them and showing how good they are? Can you please tag me in that video? 3 weeks running, I have still not seen a video of somebody getting one of these products, opening it up and going, oh, this Republic of tea is delicious. Not fucking one, not one.
Have you searched for it, or have you just asked people to send it to you?
I've been asking people to send it to me. I will refuse
You
to
haven't searched for it. You're not searching. Well,
No.
you can't rely on
I'm not
people
falling for that.
randomly sending you stuff.
No, I'm not falling for that, because you know what happens? As soon as I search for that, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to get bombarded on my algorithm with Meghan Markle horseshit, and I don't want to see clips from her show. I don't want to see anything that has to do with her.
Since it's a big topic on this show now, and we're talking about it, you're going to get that anyway, simply by us talking about it.
Yeah, well, the other thing, you would think so, but I haven't. I haven't. And the other thing too is like we have the AOA holes are the greatest ever. They're the fucking greatest ever. I'm sure some of them have looked. I'm certain. Anytime we say anything on this show, there's not a topic that goes by that isn't followed by 17 comments or DMs or whatever to be like, did you see this? Did you see that? Or did you see this? And not one showing a video of somebody enjoying a Meghan Markle product. Not one. That's amazing.
Yeah. Are there reviews? I mean, you can get anybody to, maybe, is it possible that some people have gotten it and just not done a video?
It's possible. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. I guess so.
And they just, I don't know, maybe, and they just, maybe there are Google reviews or Yelp reviews or whatever the hell reviews.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe Google reviews. But again, I maintain if you're not showing me 100 of them, I don't believe it. I'm sure there's 5. Probably 5 or 10 or 20 maybe.
Right.
But I nothing. I haven't seen not one. Not a one. And don't give me this, we have our own blend. Fuck you. Like what? Where that's? I mean, this is like Diddy going. This is Diddy going. Yeah, I beat the shit out of her, but I didn't, sexually assault her. Like, come on, that's around the corner from beating the shit out of somebody. Like, I'm not fucking buying that. Like, don't give me that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, is it impossible that she doesn't have her own blend?
Nearly. I mean, I don't want to commit and say it's impossible, but
okay. Maybe they add a special fucking whatever the fuck to the thing, and they go, "Hey, this is our special Meghan Markle bullshit." And
I see what you're saying
for this argument. So it's not a big con job.
But if you've already gone so far down the street of lies, well, what's that going to make the difference? We added whatever. We added this to it. It's going to change it that much.
I don't even know what you add to tea to change it. I have no idea. But I'm sure she's got like a whole. I mean, this is a company she has now. I'm sure there's like a legal part to it, and there's people running this thing, right? So I'm sure someone along the line went, maybe we just change the recipe slightly so we can make it so we can legitimately say this is a Meghan Markle tea.
Maybe. I've been catching these guys. I don't even know the name of the company, but I've been catching these guys on my algorithm. 2 young guys started because again, I'm trying to eat right? So I'm getting all the health stuff. They started a protein cookie company because all the protein cookies out there, they'll have all this stuff in it that's bad for you. So they're trying to do this and that. And then they kind of, and I'm fascinated by this stuff. I'm not great at business, but I do. Frank can tell you that, just judging by how this podcast is run. It's not good at it, but they do.
I don't know what 6 years we've been doing this. How many years?
But they do. Like I always want to see like how do people take things to the next level? Because you can make the argument that we're kind of stuck in a place where we've got a hump to get over. We just have not been able to get over this hump. So I guess I've been interested in this cookie company, and so they're talking about trying to scale up, right? Which every company goes through this growing pain of like, okay, we've become this popular, but now we want to sell to the entire East Coast, or we want to sell to the entire country. And if we're going to move our operations from this small kitchen, which we've been working in, to these massive kitchens, how do we do that and we keep our flavor and our company standards and our core values, right? That's kind of a big deal in every company's journey to become a huge brand. And so these guys, but you got to see these guys, they're flying all over the world, to Vegas, to here, to there. They're in the kitchens. They're testing it out. They're like putting in the work. They're doing other jobs too, just to make their company stay afloat. Like they're entrepreneurs. They're real people. This fucking asshole is like, just buy that tea and slap a label on it, and like wants to be put next to people like that. Fuck you. Like, that's not how it works. And you can't parade yourself around with awesome photos. I got to tell you something. We got Meghan Markle's press kit. It's not hard. It's on her website. Like the images on her press. She can do a press kit. She puts together an amazing press kit. Like, it is so professionally done. The credit I will give her is she knows how to hire a photographer, but she walks around her fucking garden with a camera following her, acting like she's doing the work of an entrepreneur, and look at how wonderful she is. And it's like, you're not that. You're a fake and a lie. Like, look at these shots. Like, oh, I'm in my garden with my basket. What's in the basket? Republic of Tea fucking receipts because you bought your shit and resold it, you sack of loser. And it's like, and look at the lighting is perfect. And oh, get a shot of me with my tippy toes on the chair, reaching up and look at that perfect basket of lemons on it. That's not even a fucking lemon tree she's standing in front of. It's not a lemon tree. The whole thing is just bullshit. It's all bullshit lies. All of it. And look at the way, like, product, and stand over there, Megan, so that you're just kind of in the shot, but not in the shot. So it shows that you're the woman behind this, but it's all about the product. I don't know who's doing her branding. Her branding person's brilliant. That person, oh, could you imagine if we put that person in with like a talented entrepreneur? Like, that would be fucking amazing. That would really be amazing. But it's just not. But these are the images that she puts out into the world. And I'm sorry.
Look, she filled the basket.
I know. I'm not. And this goes back to, remember the other Instagram posts where people like, look at all the veggies she's picking, and they were all like perfectly clean. And it wasn't the time of the year to be harvesting, corn or whatever it was. That was it. Like, it was debunked instantly the second she put it out, and then she deleted it and took it down. And it's like, go buy it if you want to, suckers. But if it wasn't for people like me and Frank, I don't know if Frank wants to be dragged into this. So if it wasn't for
it's like him. This way.
It wasn't for people like me and whoever, God bless you, the internet sleuth that went to the
care either way.
Okay. The person who went to the source code on her website, God bless you. Because if it wasn't for those people, these people would just be buying this shit for 3 times the amount of money and feeling like they're getting something real. And you're not. There's plenty of people out there making real products. Go support them. Go buy their overpriced tea. Go buy their overpriced honey. They're working hard for it. You are not. You are standing in a fucking lavender field with a teacup, acting like you're doing it. Frank, nobody picks lavender with pirate sleeves. I don't want to be a pirate.
Maybe she's starting a new trend. Pick your lavender with pirate sleeves, matey.
When you
that should
agreed
be
to
the slogan for the lavender tea. What?
Yeah, I said, when you agreed to wear the pirate dress. I did what now? What did I do?
Where else is she going to put the lavender? In the puffy sleeves?
Yeah, I can tell you where she could put the lavender.
Okay. Oh boy!
All right.
Oh gee!
Not a lot of sun going there.
Well, come on now.
Yeah, just the whole thing. It's a con. The whole fucking thing is a con, and I'm not falling for it. And I feel sorry for people who do. And I'm not going to stop, because I thought about this. Oh, fuck them. Let them waste their money if they love her so much. I'm telling you, the people that are buying it, they genuinely don't know. Like, it pains me to say, but when they find that video of ours or mine, again, I don't want to feel bad dragging Frank into this. When they find those,
hey, when I said I don't care, I care if people get conned. I don't want people to get conned. But it's like you're taking this personally. It's like It's like Meghan Markle, punched your mom in the face or something.
I know. It is because again, I look for the redeeming qualities. I look for, I feel like I can separate myself out from, I just don't like this person, but that's my opinion. Like there's good qualities to them. Listen, okay. Not that I'm dragging him into this or want to go in this direction, but Donald Trump, I didn't vote for him. I don't agree with a lot that he does. But when I see a moment where, okay, there is something there, he did something there, or this worked out and he made this happen, I can acknowledge
What did he make
it.
happen?
Frank can't.
Name one thing. Give me one.
There are some things, there
one.
are some.
Okay, so please, I'll take one. Give me one.
And listen, I don't deny that he screws things up and then he tries to fix it, and then I get all
what
that.
he does. No, what he does. Yeah, what he does is he creates a problem. It over time it gets worse, and then he'll fix it, or he'll pretend to fix it. He'll say it's fixed, and even though nobody agreed to it being fixed, and then everybody will go, "Oh, see, he's fixing this problem. Look, nobody could fix this problem but him." Well, nobody created this problem but him.
All right, we got to get off this. We got to get off it. But what I'm saying is you can find people for and against Trump, right? The people that are for Meghan don't understand what is really happening. They just don't get it. They haven't discovered the truth yet. And if it's not for people pushing the truth out there, they never will. And that's what you don't want to have happen, that again, you follow somebody, it's like when you love a band and then you realize, oh, they all don't talk to, they hate each other. Like, you feel like, oh, that was all for nothing. That was all like a lie. That was all like, what was I a fan of if it was all just bullshit? And it's
music,
not
man. It's about the music.
I know. So fuck her and her stupid fake fucking lavender dresses and all her bullshit. But kudos on the press kit. That was pretty decent.
Man, take a breath. Deep breath, buddy. Got a lot of podcasts to go here.
I know we got a lot to go. All right, listen. But we're moving through the topics. We're moving and shaking and making it happen. I find this interesting. The Starbucks got a new CEO and he's doing a whole bunch of new stuff. And part of this is going to be renovating over 1,000 stores to have sort of a new look. One of the interesting things that he's doing, which I don't know if he's going to be successful at, is trying to bring people back into the stores, because he talked about serving coffee back in glass mugs again, because they kind of got away from that. Everything was in paper, whether people were sitting or they were going, it was all paper. But back in the day, you used to be able to go there. You can get Starbucks in a regular coffee mug. So he's bringing that back. And then so part of that initiative is renovating 1,000 stores and making it like a lot more comfortable to sit in. And the first flagship store that they chose to renovate is actually a store that I used to go to all the time. So when I was on the air at WLNG, this was the Starbucks that I would stop in to get coffee so that I wouldn't fall asleep in the middle of my air shift. Not that happened like 4 or 5 times, but I would try and prevent it with a coffee, beforehand. And I would always stop at the Bridgehampton Starbucks, and this is the Bridgehampton Starbucks. And so they're going for this, like, look at the lush, like,
it looks like the set of Friends.
It does look like the set of Friends, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But look at the booths, like how comfortable and like, inviting. Like, look how thick look at the thickness on the booth, like the cushion.
Those are some thick ass cushions.
I don't want to be inappropriate here, but that is a hemorrhoid friendly couch cushion right there. That looks like you're sitting on a cloud.
It does look, but it could be hard as hell. You don't know.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. The fascinating thing about this particular Starbucks, which I always loved, they took over an old bank, like a bank that had been there, I think, since like the 30s or some crazy shit like that. And when they renovated it originally, they left the safe in there because it's like a huge 20 tons, like it's a walk-in safe. And they would leave the door open so that like you could look in. And I always thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And you could kind of see that here in this shot. You see the little like jail cell looking thing.
And now they keep like extra lids in there and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You got me more scones. They're in the safe.
That's where they keep the matcha tea. You know how expensive that shit is? They can't have that walking out the store.
You can't have that out in front with people.
No, they'll just steal it. They'll take it right away.
I like the paint and the color scheme going on. It's very coffee housey.
It is very calm. Like when you look at this, I look at this. What do you feel? Because I look at this and I go, I want to sit in there with a coffee for like 3 hours and maybe a book and not talk to anybody and read and maybe do a little people watching and get a refill, you know, have a little nibble. That's, you know.
I could use a little artwork on the walls, but other than that, it's nice.
Yeah.
You know, give me a little painting or something. But also it depends on, like, is there music playing? I'm sure there will be. And I'm sure they're there. You just can't, they're not obvious, but like you need outlets and stuff and, you know, charge all your shit.
Yeah. You know, that's a good point. I forget where I was. It was a coffee shop. I forget where I was now, Frank, but they had these nice, comfortable chairs, like couches and everything like that. And then in between, like every like 3 feet or whatever was a little outlet, little USB, little plug, regular electric plug.
What I'm talking about.
Oh.
You need that in there. I bet they're like by your legs, you know, in the front of the chair of the booths, maybe.
If they're smart. Yeah, if they're
If
smart.
they're smart. You gotta have that. Nobody's going in there without their laptop. You gotta have a charger.
Brian's in the chat. Brian, do you like, was this like an old, I feel like this is like a 1930s bank. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it was. I don't know if you know that, but it was a bank at one point.
Sure as hell looks like it with that gate.
Yeah. Oh, and what Brian is saying is true. Like driving to Montauk is like, takes like 5 days. So like when you get to Bridgehampton, that's like the halfway point. So everybody stops there to take a shit and piss and get some coffee.
I definitely don't want to be sitting there for 2 hours if everybody's just shitting and pissing.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Now, and that's for the people going out to Montauk. For the people just going to the Hamptons, the Starbucks that's literally right by my house is where people stop to take a shit because it's like they just spent an hour and a half from the city just to get out here. There's a little pit stop and then they continue on for another 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where they're going. So,
right. I mean, it looks, you know, small-ish. I don't know where I'm sure the counter is, I guess, where the camera is, sort of. Or to the right, maybe.
Yeah. So this is weird. So see the wall that we're looking at? If you go, and that was like a whole like room. If you go around, if you walk around, you see the front window?
Yeah.
Up there, that front window. If you walk up to that, like right up to that window, you make a right, like there's the counters. Like,
so on the other side of this huge wall that we're looking at is the counter?
The other side of this massive wall is like the back of the counter where they put all this stuff, and then the counter faces the front. The front.
It's a strange layout, but okay.
It is a little weird. Yeah, but again, they like took over a bank, you know, so it's like they kind of like make do with whatever they have.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But all right, I dig. If this is what they're going to do, I feel like it's not gigantically different. They put a couch instead of, you know, if you take the couch out, it's basically what Starbucks is now.
Kind of. But you know what's weird? Companies do these things and you act like, oh, big fucking deal. But it kind of is. Like if you want people to stay there, it doesn't mean just the glass mugs are going to do it. It's got to be comfortable. It's got to be a place where they can just fucking hang out and, you know.
Yeah. There used to be, I think it's still there. There's a Starbucks in our old neighborhood. Fireplace, the whole deal. It had the couches, the fireplace.
Yeah.
It had a second level where you go upstairs and there's no, you know, the counter isn't there. It's just seating and tables and you just chill.
Is that still there?
I believe it is.
So Frank and I grew up in the neighborhood. Again, it didn't invent racism, but it perfected it. Little mafia problem, not a big deal. And one day there was this empty lot. And so where we grew up, there was a little bay. And you might be thinking, oh, like nature. No, like a bay where like, you know, Buicks float by and dead bodies.
Yeah, not the cleanest bay.
Yeah. it shares a waterway next to Kennedy Airport where they refuel the jets and everything, so there's all glowing fish and shit like that in there. It's like not,
Mhm.
you don't want to catch anything in there and eat it. Although I'm pretty sure we've done it. I'm pretty sure we've eaten fish that's come straight out
I'm
of that
sure.
water.
Yeah, I'm sure we have. And don't Google the words water rat. That's a common little a little inhabitant of that area too.
Yeah, you're gonna see some shit you don't want to see.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
They're
randomly
like
and
size of cats. Okay, go ahead.
so randomly one day, and a lot of the area like by the bay was just like abandoned and just like nothing. And in fact, there's one spot I'm pretty sure like that's where like the Christmas tree lot went when in Christmas time. Like
That sounds right.
there was nothing in that lot, and then all of a sudden on Black Friday, there was his 100 Christmas trees, and then it would go away, and that would be the end of it. So one day, this construction thing, and I'm like, oh, something's gonna go here. Some idiot had the idea to build a volleyball business.
I gotta say, though,
volleyball business.
It was a beach volleyball thing with like a little tiny restaurant-ish area.
Yeah.
And I have to say, every time I passed it, though, there were people playing. It wasn't like it was empty.
And it was like lights so that you could play at night. Was it like 2 or 3 volleyball courts or what? I don't
think
remember.
It was at least 2. It was at least 2. And they had, big spotlights, and they had the sand up there, and it was beach volleyball, and it was right there. But of course, it's New York. It's only going to be active end of spring and summer, and the rest of the year was what it was. It was nothing there.
Do you remember how long it lasted for? Was it a year? Did it even make a year?
It did. It was at least a year. I feel like maybe 2, but I don't know.
And we went there too. The food stunk. Like the food wasn't good. I just remember the food.
I don't remember eating there at all.
Yeah. I got fried calamari there one night for some stupid reason. And it was like, oh, surprise, this is terrible. Like, of course it is. And then Starbucks bought it. They literally got rid of all the sand, made that the parking lot. And then
that was the parking lot. Yep.
But it was beautiful inside, like the fireplace. Like it was really like we would go and hang out there, and it was like a thing.
It's a nice Starbucks. It's a 2-level.
Yeah,
it looks like again, couches, fireplace. It was nice.
And this just hit me. I forget. I think it's kind of blurry who I was dating at the time, but they had somebody come and this is why I have such a bad opinion of Idaho. Or Ohio. They had somebody come and visit, like a pen pal or something like that. And I just remember thinking it's kind of silly for a 19-year-old to have a pen pal. But anyway, that's besides the point. This pen pal came and visited, and I just remember her being like, this is amazing. Like, this is real. Like, she was just couldn't get over the Starbucks. And we were like, yeah, it's like a Starbucks. This is 2000 and whatever.
That sounds familiar. Who the hell was that?
And I just remember asking, and I go, well, where do you go to get your coffee? And she was like, well, on the highway, we have a rest stop and there's a Dunkin' Donuts in there, but there's no place to sit. Like, you just get it and go. I'm like, so like a Dunkin' Donuts Express kind of a thing? She's like, yeah, that's like the best coffee in town. And I just remember thinking, how we live in the same country? Like, it sounds like a third world where you describe it. You don't have a coffee shop in your area.
You gotta realize you're in New York. You're gonna have a lot of shit that these are big cities. You're gonna have a lot of different shit that little towns don't have.
It was
a coffee shop is pretty common though.
Yeah, and especially now. I mean, this was 20 years ago, whatever it was, 30, 25 years ago. But it was one of those eye-opening moments where I was like, oh, there are other people out there that are not like how we are here and what we grew up with,
Yeah.
I'll just never forget. I'll just never forget. And then, I think she also, I could be making this up, but I feel like she also said that's where we get our bagels from. I was just like,
that sounds right too.
No.
Yeah. Well, again, what if you're from New York and you leave New York and you get a bagel, you're gonna go, well, this isn't the best bagel I've ever had. But it's all different everywhere. Everybody's got a different, especially if you're making it fresh. You have different ingredients. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right. Update on the Trump phone, which I tried. I don't know where our AOA phone went. I had our AOA phone in here somewhere, but I don't know where it's gone now. But update on the Trump phone. No surprise to anybody. What was pitched as made in the USA on the website for the Trump phone has now been changed to proudly American. So kind of an interesting twist of events where Papa Trump has been cracking down and shitting all over Apple for designing their phone in America, but trying to make it in China and then India. And now they're like, we could make it in St. Louis. And now they literally pulled off made in the USA and put proudly American up there, which is clearly a cop out that you're not going to make the phone here. And that's no surprise to people who are have any sort of knowledge on the situation, that there's just no facilities to mass produce cell phones in this country.
And even if there were, we have places here that make hats and shirts, but guess where all this bullshit hats and shirts come from?
Yeah.
Made in America.
Yeah.
It's blatant. I mean, if I could have put money on the fact that his phone is not going to be made in America, I'd be a millionaire.
Well, but, you know, because the odds, nobody would have gave you the odds because everybody was fully
expecting
this move. Yeah.
That's one. And number two, does nobody give a shit anymore that he's blatantly making money off the presidency? Is that not a problem anymore? Everybody's bitching and moaning about, Hunter Biden, and how could he do that? But and he's the president of the United States is literally selling people phones. Is what the fuck? What are we doing? He's not supposed to be doing that shit. Yeah. Are there a dozen laws telling him you can't make money off the presidency, or however many laws there are? Well, there's at least one.
There's a regular. Yeah, there is. And
the Hatch Act, isn't the Hatch Act a big one?
The what's the Hatch Act?
The Hatch Act means you can't use. It might be the Hatch Act. Might be. I might be confusing them. There's a law that says you can't use a government platform to endorse, like you can't be at the White House and like endorse a candidate or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forget.
That says you can't profit. You can't make money.
You're correct. Yeah,
off the presidency. You can't, and like it's every other day, like every week we're getting a Trump Bible. We got a Trump coin, or now we got a Bitcoin, and now we got a fucking phone. It's like, does nobody see a problem with this?
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what it's called either, but there is a rule, and he has divested all of his own personal ownership in the company. The problem is his children run it, and it has the Trump name on it. And it has definitely blurred the line because he has taken part in. Thanks, buddy. He has taken part in some of these things like the Bitcoin dinner and all that, which I'm still upset about. I am as upset about that as I am the Hunter Biden stuff. The problem is he's got that loophole that he's not in it and the kids are running it. That combined with all the other shit that's going on with the administration, I just think he's just doing so many different things that people don't have. If there was nothing going on, the focus probably would fall on that. But because it's like Iran and Israel and the trade war and all these things, it's like it's hard to keep a focus.
I know there's all that shit, and it's all important. And that's why it's such a fucking clown show that there's a million things happening. You can't stop for a second and go, holy shit, look at this, because holy shit, look at that. And you know, everybody goes, oh, he gave up his salary. He gives up his annual salary. His net worth since he took office this year has only gone up. His personal wealth, I don't even know what the number is, but because of Bitcoin and whatever the hell else, the president can't use his office for the emoluments clause. There you go. Nobody, and that's not a problem. I mean, why is that okay all of a sudden? I guess no rules anymore. President could do whatever the hell he wants. He could just make money and do anything from the White House. And it's fine.
Robin and Paul have double teamed it. Robin says the Republicans simply don't care, and Congress is MIA. If the Republicans lose a majority, that's when you're going to see things get ratcheted up because it'll be the Democrats in charge, and they'll be the ones with the oversight to start making a big deal out of these things. But again,
It's really,
yeah, I do. Here's the thing, and it's sad to say this, and you can say I'm wrong, and I won't even argue with you. If the midterms do go the Democrats' way and they start to pick up on this stuff, I hate to say it, but he's like a greasy pig. You're just not going to catch him, and it's almost not even fucking worth it at this point, because
I feel like you got to keep at it, because if for nothing, no other reason than to just point it out and say that this is not okay. I mean, people go, "Oh, what's the point of protesting?" Well, let's say nobody protested, then everybody's just going to think that it's fine, and there's no problem with it, and everybody's okay with it. But millions of people turned out for these No King protests, meaning it had an impact, and everybody feels this way. Imagine if 0 people showed up; it would be a huge "who cares" moment. But with this, it's like, just keep the list running. We have all these things that he's doing that's just blatantly against the law. And yeah, he might not have any consequences yet, but that might change when he's out of office or whenever, or when the Democrats take over and they give, it's a fucking shame that, because there's hypocrisy. The left can go, yeah, this is fucked up. Like what Hillary did, what Biden did, whoever. And then they could also point out Trump shit. But the Republicans are like, oh, what about, yeah. They'll ask you, what about what Hillary did with her emails? You go, yeah, okay, bad stuff. Investigated. They had brought up a whole thing and whatever. Yeah, there's bad stuff, but they have to be held accountable for it.
Yeah, but that happened after the fact too, though. They,
Well, whenever, I don't care. Hold these people to account. You could say, oh, the Hunter Biden stuff, with the sale of his paintings or whatever. Yeah, I could point to that and go, yeah, that's some bullshit right there, and there should be an investigation. And if he's found guilty, so be it. He's found guilty. But yeah, the same has to hold for both sides. I'm sorry, but when the right is like, no, he's our guy, he can't do any wrong. Look, he just sold another millions of dollars of Bitcoin. That's great. That's our president. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
I mean, even if you impeach him and get him out, you'll have JD Vance in there. Who gives a shit?
That's what I'm saying. It's not even worth it. Again,
it is worth it, because it sets a bad precedent that you could just get away with whatever they want.
If I'm in the DNC, I would be like, I'd be on the voting side of just leave it alone. Like, let's worry about ourselves and winning in 26 and in 28, and not worry about, because it just looks bad for them every single time. I mean, you look at what's going on with the Iran thing. Everybody, CNN and the New York Times, going off of this leaked report, right? That the thing wasn't destroyed. It was destroyed. It wasn't destroyed. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't make a difference. And they go on and on about this stuff. It's like,
but it does. How could you not see that it does matter? Because he's doing is lying, and the people are eating it up and going,
no, but you don't know that. Here's the thing. Nobody really knows, because this one report says it was completely destroyed. The administration says it's destroyed. This one report says it might not have been destroyed. Nobody is going to really know for quite some time. We're not going to know how much stuff was snuck out in those trucks, the day or two before that they saw all that crazy activity. So to put a report out, it's like literally picking a little sliver of something and swinging it into your own narrative. And by the way, this is the same reporter that reported on the White House press secretary pointed this out the other day. This is the same reporter for CNN that got lied to by the 51 intelligence people that said that the whole dossier thing. So it's like, just leave this shit alone. It doesn't matter. They destroyed the target. Iran agreed to a ceasefire. That's the story. That it worked. It worked enough for now. 4 months, 6 months, a year from now, will they have new capabilities somewhere else? Who knows? Could it be from this? Could it be from other things? We won't know. But the thing is, it worked for now. Can't we have an American victory for a day?
But if it's bullshit, then it's not a victory.
but you
So you
can't
have to
confirm
call
it.
them out when they lie. You can't. Well, I'm not
I
saying it
agree
was.
with that. I agree with that.
That's
You
what I'm.
have to
That's all I'm saying.
question. Yes, you have to question the administration at all. Them like shaming the Hegseth for shaming his former Fox coworker on that was ridiculous. Did you see that one? Her
Yeah.
question was literally, the trucks were moving the day or two before. Do you know if they got everything? And he was like, went on this whole time. There's nothing wrong with that question. Her question was completely legitimate. Like,
Of
did they send
course.
stuff out or not? You can answer that question, and you can
Yeah.
even say, we're not 100% sure what got out of there, but back it up with facts. Even if they took some stuff out of there and took it somewhere else, where are they going to, they're going to have to rebuild everything just to get that stuff up and running again. So it's still a moot point. That's the answer, not shaming them. I agree with you there 100%. She had every right to ask that question, and he was wrong to shame her in that answer.
Well, what I know is that every move that's made is just you look back at it and you go, this was a stupid thing to do. He's sitting there talking about, we may bomb Iran, we may not bomb Iran, blah, 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 the nuclear sites, and then of course they're going to start moving their shit out. You think they're just going to sit there and go, I hope they don't bomb us today?
Yeah, they're not
they're going to start moving their stuff. I mean, every time they open their mouth, they leak something, fucking the signal chat. It's just a disaster every week. There's something terrible going on with the administration every week, and I'm sitting here going, we can't let up with pointing it out, because then they could just say anything and everybody will believe it, and nobody will give a shit anymore. You have to keep calling out the bullshit, or else they're just gonna make it up, and it's gonna get everybody to. It's just gonna pull wool over everybody's eyes.
No, there's some truth to what you're saying. Again, I think it's the press's job to question the administration. This one, the previous one, all of them. That's their job.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. But the problem is I think some of these reporters go on a report and then they're like, well, that's clearly the truth. And it's like, you don't know if that's the truth, because if a document was leaked, you could leak 4% of anything and swing it to make it look like something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you have the full.
Well, how do you know they didn't get the full thing?
Well, either way, okay to run it, okay to say, hey, this leaked report says this and question on it, but they just harp and harp and harp, and they act like.
Yeah, I'm not saying they were right or wrong or whatever. Right. I don't know what they have, but what I'm saying is when it's not, you have the right to question everything they do, and when it's a lie, call it out and say, well, here are the facts. This is what and then their return is
we don't know what the facts are in this particular. All we know is what the
I'm not defending this document leak or whatever the hell happened. I don't know much about it, the Iran thing. I know very little about whatever documents, I don't know. But all I'm saying is, whenever you have a question about something, if you let's say it was a document leak and the person has it, I mean, they have a right to go, hey, is this true?
Right. Yes, I agree with that.
You got to question everything, especially from this administration, all administrations. But this one is very famous for lying about everything.
Well,
I mean, it just doesn't stop.
You have Mike Johnson going, oh, well, they're doing it all out in the open. The Biden administration was doing it. Like, guy, that's not a fucking argument. But they keep trying to push this stupid bill. Oh, I wish they would just give up on this bill. The bill does nothing. The bill's a fucking failure. And just because they don't have the courage enough to pull it out and put something better together or change it up because they're afraid that they're going to lose the tax cuts because they're going to expire, they've really backed themselves into a corner with this. That fucking bill is unpassable. It is unpassable. And
it's the dumbest thing with it. And it's a shame that people voted for it without reading it, number one, and that without knowing what's in it. And number two is, I don't understand why you would need to put tax cuts in for billionaires when they don't pay taxes anyway.
Still, the answer is,
what are they cutting taxes?
Yeah, raise taxes on let them pay more.
We don't have adjusted so that they have to pay more.
Yeah, we don't have time to get into the mayor thing. Do you have an opinion on the mayor thing? I don't want to talk about it now, but maybe we'll talk about
I
it
don't
next week. Okay.
know too much about it.
Everybody's making such a big deal out of this guy who beat Cuomo, and it's like it's getting out of control. Anyway, let's talk about this. This is fun. So there was a stewardess, I guess you'd call it, or air hostess. Her name is Sierra Mist, which I feel like was like a porn person.
Isn't that anyway, a drink? Like a 7-Up, Sierra Mist?
Yeah. Well, did you hear that story that there was like a porn star named Sierra Mist, and then I forget who makes Sierra Mist, Pepsi or Coke, one of them. They let the copyright go, and so she got it, or the trademark or whatever expired, and she got it, and so that's why they changed the name to Star. Like if you look now, Sierra Mist doesn't exist anymore. It's called Starry. They had to change the name because the porn star got the trademark to the thing. Isn't that hysterical?
Someone got fired for that.
Yeah. Anyway, and take this all for a grain of salt, but essentially what she is saying is that like air crew, air staff, pilots, flight attendants, that they have sex in the cockpit. She basically is confirming that. Now, other people have come out and said that this is, completely not true, but there is a rule that says, like, if a pilot has to use the restroom or whatever, one of the flight attendants has to go and sit in there, because you have to have two people sitting in the cockpit at all times. And she says that's when those things happen. And she even said something to the effect of, like, it's not always just sex. Sometimes it's, other things. It's
right.
like a little easier as far as like the maneuvering goes.
I've never seen, once the plane is in the air, by the way, especially nowadays, I've never seen that door open until we land.
Yeah, well, that's not true. I did see it once, and I was stunned because I was like, I thought they weren't allowed to come out of there. I thought that was like a law now that they lock that door and they're in there.
Exactly.
But I think that has laxed a little bit in the last few years. But also, here's the other thing. I haven't been on a flight that's been more than 2 hours. I'm sure if you're on like a California 5-hour flight, I'm sure they're popping out of there to use the bathroom.
Maybe. I thought they had their own thing in there and their own whatever.
Oh, maybe that's good. No, I don't think they do. Well, maybe on some of the bigger jets, maybe. I don't really know. But I think when they do switch, I think the flight attendant goes in there, and then the flight attendant locks the door so that it's like, nobody can get in there.
Okie doke.
So I don't know. But anyway, she says that, and she says, 1, you have to make sure you're with a crew you can trust. And 2, you pick a flight that has a route that has a normal, smooth ride. And once you have those 2 things, then you can easily fool around with like one of the pilots or whatever. But she says this is something that does occur, even though a lot of people are like disputing it and say this doesn't really happen. So I don't know. I feel like those planes are on autopilot most of the time anyway. So you trade handies, with your fellow, crew member. What's the big deal? I mean, think about the amount of times.
Not a fan.
Okay. All right, think about that. I know. Listen, I love them to be. I like them to be at 2 and 10 as well. Fucking scanning and just making sure there's no birds and shit like that. But
I'm all for autopilot. Again. For a second. What are you saying?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say. Think about all the people like in regular jobs. Think about the amount of people that have sex in their normal jobs. You know what I mean? Because like flight attendants and flight crews are pretty special, because like you fly somewhere, then you stay in a hotel overnight, you could bang there. But I can imagine that getting a little boring and you having to spice it up. Like same with people who work together in an office somewhere. Like after a while, you're going to fuck in the pencil room just because, banging at home at the end of the workday is going to get a little tiring after a while.
Okay, but then I don't want that person serving me drinks right after. I prefer, I don't know. Call me crazy, but seems a little unsanitary.
Immediately after, imagine being like, the icing on that blueberry muffin was a little weird tasting, and then they're like, we don't put icing on our blueberry muffins. What do you mean? Like, oh no, that was. Oh dear Lord.
See, yeah. I don't want. No, that's not cool. There's got to be some kind of regulation they're breaking there.
It is against the law. By the way, it is against the law to have sex on an airplane. It is a federal law that they are not supposed to do that. That's why she says you have to have a crew that you can trust, because if they get caught in that, that's the job and the pension and everything else.
It's not. I mean, does the co-pilot's just like, all right, I guess I'll keep an eye on the plane, or where is this happening? The bathroom or in the cockpit?
No, in the cockpit. In the cockpit. And
I mean, because normally there's a pilot and a co-pilot,
right.
So the flight attendant comes in, and the co-pilot's just like, all right, you two do what you got to do. I'll keep an eye on the road.
I mean, I guess maybe, but what she's saying is like if if the pilot or the co-pilot goes to use the restroom and the other flight attendant, excuse me, has to go in there, that's the moment where they can get a little,
How long is that bathroom break?
Little.
Number one or number two? I just want to know how much time I have.
Just need to know if this is a quick one or a long one.
Man.
Yeah.
That's disturbing. Not a fan of that. Not a fan. Wait till you land, people. Come on.
Yeah, but it's exciting. Again, think about it. It's you get bored, you gotta ratchet up a little excitement there.
And then put on, The Office or whatever the fuck is on the TV. What do you gotta? I mean, I get it, but land the plane first.
Good point.
Get us on the ground, and then do what you got to do.
Good point, Frankie C. All right, we have to talk about this quickly because I fell into this trap. I'm scrolling the other day and I come across this guy, and he's talking about, he's one of these food review guys, and he's talking about he started a new account because he found a girl and there were these vibes and whatever. And I'm just I catch this guy and I'm like, he's like, I felt something. He's like, TikTok, please find her. I want to like there was just, so I see all that and I'm like, oh, interesting. And then there's like a name on the bottom of the screen, like in the search bar. So I click on that. And then I find the original video where this guy who does taco reviews, his name is Tio or Tio Taco is the account that I think Taco Fiend maybe. Yeah, Taco Fiend. If anybody in the live chat has come across Taco Fiend, let me know. This is Taco Fiend right here. That's the guy. And he's like tatted up hat, and I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. So he says this, and so I click on the original video, and he's outside a pizzeria in New York City because I guess the bit he's doing now, he reviews tacos, and so he decided to do a taco in all 50 states. So he's going around, and I guess he decides he's in New York, he's going to do a pizza review too. So he does a pizza review. I'm watching the video. He's doing the pizza review. He's talking about it, and somebody starts talking to him from off camera. And then it was about a question about the tripod that he had his camera set up on. So then he goes, I'm doing a pizza review. He's like, oh, do you want a bite of the pizza? And in walks this gorgeous girl. I mean, she's beautiful. And he goes, you want a bite? And she takes a bite of his pizza. And then there's like a weird, awkward moment or whatever. And he goes away. And then you could see him that he's like, he got caught. Like, he's like, wow, she was like, he continues with the review. She's gone. But you could tell he got like, oh, fuck, I should have said something, it was a real cute moment. So he creates this account now where he's like, I only do food reviews and I never get personal, but I'm going to get personal in this account. TikTok helped me find this girl and blah, blah, blah. And then, so I don't think anything. And I swipe, I keep swiping and living my life. And then like a day or two later, I see the response from the girl. And she's like, I can't believe he felt that way. He didn't talk to me. I thought I was like, bullying him into getting like, this thing and blah, blah, blah. And they're going back and forth. And the account that he created has like 40,000 followers already. Like everybody's just like hooked into this. And then she says, you said the ball's in my court, but I didn't hear a question, So of course I'm like, oh, now I got to wait for it. So of course, a day later, he responds and says, why don't you come to, I forget, California or Hawaii with me, and do a taco review with me there. Now, I don't know if she's responded yet. I haven't seen it, but she's gorgeous. Like, here, this is the girl. Look at her. She's like, she's gorgeous. Like, she's beautiful.
Okay.
She's really beautiful. And I looked at like a couple of her videos, and look at her laughing. She just seems like a fun, look at this girl. Do you think she has a hard time finding men? You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure she's doing all right.
Yeah, I'm like, she's gorgeous. Like, wait, now I'm stuck in this thing, and I'm telling Cuddles about this other because I'm so intrigued. I'm like, it's so sweet. I'm like, this is unbelievable. And could you imagine if they met this way? And I'm telling Cuddles all this, and as I'm telling her all the facts, just like I'm telling you now, I'm like, do you think this is bullshit? Like, do you think they know each other? Yeah, it's planned. Because all right, you know this from being in radio. Part of the radio job is to make everything sound and feel organic. Like I would be in this countless times where, and I'm proud to say we don't do this on this podcast because every product we've had or we've endorsed or talked about, whether we are getting compensated for it or not, is like a passion thing. Like you've come on and talked about things. Snapple, for instance, we're not getting any money from Snapple. Frank legit loves Snapple. He loves his wife. His mom and brother and family are, I don't know the order, but they're in there somewhere, and way too close for comfort is Snapple. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just he loves it. But like when you get like a radio thing, like there would be times where you'd be like, oh, we got to sell Toyotas this month. They're giving us a lot of money for Toyotas. Talk about how much you love Toyotas. And you got to come up with some way to connect the Toyota and talk about it. And I'm like, radio's that way, television's that way. Why? Social media is not much. It's worse. It's even worse when you think about it, especially this TikTok with the shopping and all this bullshit, that's on there now.
Is there any record of them two knowing each other in any way before? Like if you go back on really early videos or on her videos, is she someone that does these kind of videos too?
That's a good question because I do find a lot of people that they're like, oh, this guy wants me to get back when he was cheating on me. Then you scroll like 5 videos away, and it's like her husband, and they're happy, and they're just going. So they're doing these things just for view grabs.
They're doing bits or whatever.
Exactly. But I haven't seen. Her name is just Jenny Fur, and he's Taco Fiend. I have not, I'm not stalking her out. I did like a quick look at like her last 3 or 4 videos, but even just like going through her thumbnails, I don't see anything with him in it. I don't see him anywhere in that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. So it could be organic, but I'm like, the creating of the account, the weird vague response from her.
You know what? If it's legit, great.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
If it's not, whatever.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you heard their whole meet cute, you heard it. That's how it came together.
Right.
The first date he asked for is come to Hawaii with me to review a top. Like
that's a lot. That's a big one. That's a big ask.
Rhode Island. Pick a state next to the one that she. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't pick Jersey. Don't go to Hawaii. What?
Yeah, on your first encounter, second encounter, technically.
Yeah, like who's gonna get on a 10-hour? I don't even know how long it takes to get to Hawaii from New York. But who's gonna get on that flight and spend 5 days there? That's weird.
Well, from what they're doing on flights these days, it might be a fun flight.
So I don't know if that's a scam or not. Let me know what you guys think. It feels. Robin says fake, 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 fake,
fake, fake, fake. It could be legit. Who the hell knows? Either way, I don't know. It's a write-off. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know these two personalities. I don't know them. This is the first time I'm hearing about them. It could be legit. I mean, this guy travels. You said he travels. He's doing all the states. Is he from New York or where is he from?
Good question. I don't know where he's from, and all I know is he reviews tacos, and then he decided to do 50 tacos in 50 states. That's his latest bit.
Because if you figure out where his home base, and you see where she is from, maybe they're in the same state, or maybe they're in different. Maybe they're other sides of the country. Who the hell knows? And that might narrow it down for you a little better. Because if he's not from New York and that's where he met her, it could be legit.
Could be, but this is bugging me because I'm like, Jesus, did I fall? Did I just get this suckered into this thing? Because I'm curious now to see if they get together, to see what happens.
Yeah, they got you hooked.
I'm hooked. I'm in. I'm in it. I'm in it, Jerry. I'm loving
Good.
every minute of it.
Good. Hey, enjoy the ride.
I just don't like being suckered. I don't like being taken advantage of. I don't like being Meghan Markled.
Well,
last story, Frank, and then we're going to get into our game. You're going to love this. The Yankees have done this before where they've had a George Costanza bobblehead. And the first time they did this, it was Costanza in his batting practice pose from the show.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They're bringing it back again, but this time they're not going with the batting pose. They're going with the under the desk nap setup.
That's perfect.
Isn't that fucking brilliant?
See, but it doesn't have the little thing for the alarm clock. Like this? Like this. That's what it needs. It needs a little shelf for the alarm clock. That's all it's missing.
I can do it however you want me to do it, Jerry.
That's what you want. That's what I want.
Is that construction guy maybe one of the most underrated?
He was good. What was his name?
What was his name? He's so good.
Yeah. He says his name like three or four different ways. Like, I can go by Skip or Kip or Lip, you know, it is however you want to call it. Al or I don't remember. But that was a funny episode. The best is when Kramer walks into Jerry's apartment. I'm on the wrong floor again. Jerry's got all this stuff built in his kitchen. That was great.
Or what about when Jerry walks in seeing it for the first time and he has to like sink his head down to look?
That was great. That was great fucking visual. That was perfect.
That's later. What would you say? Season 5, 6?
No, that's up there. That's like
7, maybe?
Maybe 7 or 8. That's late. That's a late one.
Yeah, what a good one though. Such a classic episode.
That was great.
By the way, the first bobblehead is, I don't know what they're selling for, but they're being listed on eBay anywhere from $189. Most are around $200. One person has it listed at $6,000. I don't know why. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Autographed by everybody on Earth, and I don't, what the hell?
Yeah, maybe. But the first 18,000 fans at Yankee Stadium on August 21st will receive a George Costanza bobblehead. Here's the strangest thing about that. You know, usually these sports giveaways, they give them away when like Arizona comes to town. You know, it's like some shitty team that nobody wants to see.
They want to get people in the stands.
Right. They're giving this away at a Yankees Red Sox game. That's crazy.
It is crazy. Everybody's going to be there already. You don't need to put butts in the seat.
Yeah, I know. It feels a little strange going in that direction, but
it's a fun bobblehead though. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker, love maker, shoe maker. Won't you make my shoes for free? That's a good one.
Oh man, it's so good. I'm back on Seinfeld. I'm putting it on, going to sleep to it, like in the old days when we used to put on Pix 11 and fall asleep to Seinfeld.
You want to know? My brother and I, when we used to share a bedroom, and we fall asleep to cassette videotapes in the VCR. We used to tape the Seinfeld, The Simpsons, tape them on TV, and just let them run. We put it in the VCR, let them run, and then when we would fall asleep, the tape would run out, rewind, and pop out, and the TV would have on time and shut. That's a VCR. That's what we used to go to bed to.
VCR. Those are good times, man. Yeah, I remember Seinfeld would be
good.
On. Somebody stole my fucking Sharpie. Seinfeld would be on, and like at 11 o'clock, and I'd put that on and go right to sleep with it. That was the deal all the time. I'm so.
To me, it was Seinfeld and Cheers. Cheers was on like 11:30. I would fall asleep to that all the time too.
Cheers. Oh, but Aaron C.
Frasier,
by the way,
another good one.
You didn't recap. I mean, we saw Frankie C put together a fun little travel video for us that's on all our social medias. But how is Cheers?
Yeah.
Look good. Those fucking nachos. By the way, somebody was like nachos for lunch. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'd have nachos for breakfast if I could. Like nachos are great all the time.
Yeah, and I'm at a bar. I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's a bar food, whatever. There was a bunch of things that were like, with the show. They had like, Cliff's chili and Woody's vegetables, just some weird stuff. But it was a fun time. Cheers is always, it's a good. I've been to that location many times, and it's always fun. And what's weird, what I thought was weird is they have Aaron. You're here, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're kind of coming in and out.
So, yeah, I'm cutting in and out.
Yeah,
I'm cutting in and out.
I think you should pop out and pop back in.
Well, anyway,
so we can get the story.
Cheers.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Hello, Aaron C.
Hi, how are you?
How's it going? How was Boston?
It was great, thanks. I was getting ready with the bride while he was at Cheers, so he was solo, but he always has such a great time there. So I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, he doesn't need anybody. I don't even think he needs a Snapple when he's at Cheers. That's how happy he is with Cheers.
I never thought of it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true though when you think about it. All right, there you go, big man.
I don't need a Snapple while I'm there. I had so last time I was there before this one, they had Norm's beer. It was like his own whatever. I don't even know where it came from or whatever. But this time they didn't have it. I was like, oh, what happened to Norm's beer? And I said they ran into some licensing issue.
Meghan Markle selling it now.
Yeah. I'm sitting there going, licensing? This is Cheers. Who holds the license to Norm's beer? If not Cheers. Like, I don't understand. I mean, maybe the production company, but still, where else are you selling Norm's beer that you wouldn't sell it in fucking Cheers?
Right. Good point.
I don't understand. I don't see Norm's beer in the convenience store anywhere.
Yeah, nobody would trust that. But as you pointed out in the video, we did get Norm's beer nuts.
Norm's beer nuts they sell at the gift shop. If you sit there, you look around. There's like cardboard cutouts of the characters all around. On the bar itself are little plaques of where every character. Like I sat in the spot where like Cliff would usually sit, and Carla comes over, which is right next to Norm. And they said for like a week after George passed away, for that week it was like insane there.
Really?
The place was packed, and it was just nonstop. And then maybe like after that, it kind of fizzled out. But for about a week after that, he passed away. It was nuts. So, but it was a fun time. It's always cool to visit Cheers. I still haven't done. We should probably go is the Seinfeld Diner.
Oh, in the city, right?
Yeah, it's on 112th Street and Broadway, and we never. It's like right there, it's in our city, and I've never been to it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I've drove past it once. You ever drive past it? I feel like I have.
Maybe once. Yeah, I think I've seen it once, but yeah, never stopped in.
We should go there because the inside's totally different. It was in the Super Bowl commercial when they had that Super Bowl commercial a couple of years ago, George and Jerry. Yeah.
That would be cool.
We totally should do that. How was the wedding? Did they go through with it? First of all, let me ask you this. Did the bride say anything about me? Because we had a date a couple of years ago. I don't know if you know this, but there's some photographic evidence. No, I'm pretty sure there was dancing and music and dinner. So
no, no, she has no idea who you are. Showed pictures like, no, don't recognize this person.
That would be hilarious if she did my bit back to me.
Is that right?
It's so good.
No, it was a great wedding. Everything was nice, wonderful.
What was better, the wedding food or the Cheers nachos?
It's a close race, but the wedding food was nice. Had a nice filet mignon.
Yeah, but that's no fake cheese. Let's be honest. I mean,
no fake cheese over nacho chips. That's true.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
With a nice beer. Oh, had a nice Blue Moon in the Cheers mug with the nachos. Oh, it was a good time. Before that, I had the. It was fun because all right. So I talk about this with Aaron all the time. If I ran Cheers,
Snapple.
Yeah.
If I ran Cheers.
If I ran that Cheers. Now this is the Cheers. This is the place everybody. It's always a tourist place. people lined up outside. It's popular.
Yeah.
Now there's one guy behind the bar. First of all, I'm like, all right, you got to have at least two people. The guy was nonstop. He was going all over the place, and he was nonstop.
Feels like I'm with you already. It feels like you need more than one person on.
You need more than one person. The place is hopping. Okay, and so and I tried to, be a stupid idiot tourist, and I tried to say something cheersy about the, I got the Bloody Mary, and in Cheers, there's an episode where they do a Bloody Mary contest with Gary's Old Town Tavern, the competing bar that's like 4 blocks away. So I asked the guy, is this the famous Bloody Mary that beat Gary's Old Town Tavern? And he goes, yeah. And he keeps. I'm like, great. I felt like such a dick, but I'm like, I feel like, if I owned that place, I would have characters walk. I would have a big guy in a suit walk in and be Norm. I'd have a guy behind the bar that dressed like, like Sam and like a Woody. I'd have people playing some parts. The characters, I don't know. I would amp it up a little more. I would make it a little bit more of a welcome to Cheers kind of a thing. Not, it just seems like a regular, like I'm sitting at an Applebee's,
Can I say something to you as your friend for more than 35, 40 years?
Yeah.
You're the biggest loser that I will ever know. However, you are 1,000,000,000% correct and on the nose with this. That's what people are going there for.
You couldn't have just said the second part?
What the hell?
What's that?
Felt like I had to clear it up for people that are like, who are these two losers? At least now they're like, oh, that one guy kind of knows what's happening and the other guy's clearly delusional. But no, you are 1,000,000% correct on this. You want to go there and have the experience. If somebody throws a line at the bartender, they should be able to play back to you.
There should be a required, you're working here, watch all the episodes, get some lines in your head. You don't have to memorize everything, but be able to talk a little bit about the show.
Yes.
Maybe, maybe do a bit with someone behind the bar. I'd have maybe every 2 hours, someone, the bartender, a light comes on, everybody goes, Norm, something. Anything.
That's fun.
Something.
You're dead on with this. Something. I like the new character thing too.
A new person sat at I'm sitting where Cliff sits. And if you know the show, Norm and Cliff sit right next to each other. So I'm sitting in Cliff's seat. A person got up from Norm's seat and left, and someone else sat down, and I went, Norm. I was the only one.
And did they play back to you? Did they?
And the guy sat down and he was like, I'm like, you're sitting in Norm's seat. At least give me, oh, hey, yeah, give me a little excitement about it. I can understand if you weren't sitting in Norm's seat. That would look stupid. But if I went, Norm, and you sat in the seat, come on. Give me something.
I love how passionate you are about it. I really genuinely enjoy how passionate you are about this.
I just feel like it's a specialized place. There's only this one location in the whole world. And it's a legendary TV show. This is the place where it should be hammed up. I'm not saying do it in every bar, across the country. I'm saying this is the one spot where it should be a show. They should do things in the place.
Although you would love it if it was every bar in the country.
You would love it.
But you're 1,000,000% right. Get characters to come in, because what's going to happen? A Norm lookalike's going to come walking in, and what's going to happen? Everybody's going to want to take a picture. Everybody's going to put it on social media. Everybody's going to be, play it. It's going to ham up the experience, like you just said, and people are going to love it.
I would even have, I don't know why they don't do this. They have TVs around the bar. Have episodes playing 24 hours.
They're not playing the episodes in
There's
the bar?
no episodes playing. I love this. I would sit there. No, they have, regular sports stuff, and like you would see at a regular bar. But have one TV in the corner playing all the episodes? I don't know.
That's insanity. That's crazy. Because literally, there's nothing, let's be honest. Take the TV show out of it. There's nothing special about that. It's a bar that serves nachos and beer, and you know, it's like every other fucking. You can probably walk 2 blocks and get something else. People are there because it's Cheers.
Because it's Cheers.
So give them Cheers.
Do do some kind of bit, anything. Just give me again. The people are very, everybody's very nice. The people that work there, and I'd go there again. I'd go there a million times. I have no problem. So maybe they don't have to do all that stuff because they're getting people anyway. But
Maybe
the gift shop is cool. They got a lot of cool stuff in there. The food is good. The beer, the atmosphere, it's all top notch. Great. But I don't know. I would ham it up a little if it were me. Just for the fun of it.
Maybe licensing issues. Maybe they.
It's already called Cheers, and they have all the pictures and images and everything around.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I listen. You make a good point. I don't doubt that they don't need it, but it's like when you go to see Santa in the mall. Like, you have to dress the set. You have to have the elves there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you go do it.
Yeah, it looks like the Cheers bar. It's a little smaller than the bar on the show.
Yeah. Well, but it's also on the set, on the main floor. Here's what I didn't I know Cheers was in the basement, but what was on the show? Was a restaurant up there?
The restaurant.
I didn't know that.
Seafood restaurant upstairs called Melville's. And, the owner changed hands a few times. But, and that was always like a point of contention in the show. Like, do they get along with the guys upstairs? Played into the show. But that was always upstairs. So upstairs now is the set bar. And below where Cheers would be is a real bar called Bull and Finch that Cheers is based on. Doesn't look like Cheers at all. It just happens to be down those steps.
Got it. So was the upstairs, when they made the show, was the upstairs a restaurant?
Oh,
and
I don't know.
Turned it into a bar for the.
I don't know what it was before the show ended. While the show was on, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it was before.
I didn't know any of this. I learned it from the video, so I appreciate that. That was insightful.
You got it.
I'm not a Cheers connoisseur like you are, but I can't even. I love to tell you when you're wrong. You are 1,000,000,000%.
You got the one place in the world that is Cheers.
Do it.
Cheers it up.
Have fun. You're 1,000,000. I'm actually angry at how nobody has thought hey, at least have our TV in the corner with the fucking episodes playing, so people could be like, oh, remember that one, and they could talk about it.
Yeah, have the captions on so you don't even have to hear it, but it's on.
Right. I would love to slap the shit out of the person that didn't acknowledge your norm next to you. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking ridiculous.
I'm like, come on, man.
You're in North Sea. So cool. Yeah, you're not here because it's fucking Cheers, you asshole.
Anthony would have been like, this guy, Frank, is a loser. But I gotta tell you, man, you're an even bigger loser. And it would have been a really, really nice moment.
It would have been a hell of a thing to get.
I would have been there. I'd be like, this is my friend, and there's nobody more pathetic than him. But you're a fucking asshole for not playing along.
I'd say, hey, what's shaking there? I don't know. Norm comes in, he has his normisms. You have a guy come in and do a normism every once in a while.
Yeah. I like the idea too that even nobody walks in, but every now and then they just flash the lights and everybody goes, Norm, how fucking fun would that be?
Yeah, do a little countdown so everybody's on ball with it. 3, 2, 1, no. The whole restaurant yells it, whatever.
Yeah, because again, everybody would pull their phone out and record that moment when they get to yell Norm and feel like they're doing it. They're having fun with it,
Cool. Yeah, again, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, again, they don't need to do all this stuff because the place is hopping, but it would just be fun.
Fucking asshole.
Frank had so many great ideas. We were driving on the way home, and I'm just kind of I'm just kind of allergic to responsibility. I don't know if you've picked that up, Anthony. I don't have children. I'm not particularly very far in my career. I just very, very scared of too much responsibility. So I've never wanted to own anything or run anything. I have a 26-year-old manager and I'm fine with it. I don't care. They keep trying to give it to me and I'm like, no, thank you. I'm good. And they're like, okay, but then you're going to have to answer to this person, who's very much younger. And I'm like, do it. Fine. But the point was that on the way home, Frank was like, I'm not saying now, but maybe someday we buy Cheers, and I'm like, okay, we'll buy
Oh, by the
Cheers.
way, it was a 4-hour drive, so
Oh my God.
we had a lot of time to talk about what we would do with Cheers.
But it's just the very first thing that I've signed on. Like everything else, I've been like, no, we can't get. We got the dog, but even that took a while. I was like,
By the way, I did not know that about you, Aaron. And
Yeah.
how could anybody tell? You're writing books. You write fucking game shows like it's nothing.
yeah, but that's
I
because,
couldn't.
I'm not managing your sick days here, people. I'm not.
No, yeah, that's
I'm not
true.
balancing my checkbook. I'm
Yeah,
just.
that is
Still.
some boring shit. That is, you make a good point. I might be allergic to that too. Now that I think about it.
But
You seem to
think
run forward managing things. What's up?
you take a lot on your shoulders. You don't. I don't.
You do.
You do.
I just feel like that poor thing, just sitting just 3.5 hours into the ride. She's probably like, oh my God,
I'm
how
like,
much
no.
longer can we
I'm
go?
like,
No, I just felt like it was the very first thing, and I've said no to much smaller things. It's like, can we get a plant? And I'm like, no. And it's like, I'd water it. And I'm like, no.
I'll make that part of the agreement. We can buy Cheers, but no fucking plants. I'm not going to go around watering plants. It's bad
Every
enough I
time.
gotta
actually
get a
in favor
fucking
of that.
Mormon impersonator. I can't be worried about the plants too.
I'm in favor of that because
Robin
there was
wrote-
an episode with all these ferns, and he wanted them out of the plate. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he just wrote, Robin wrote, every time Dexter enters the room, everybody yells, yeah, Dexter. It's just for my one programming note. Dexter has a cough, and when he gets on these jags, he just can't stop. And if you hear that in the background, we're taking care of it. He's on medication. He's going to be okay. But it might happen because it just does while I'm on the phone. That's all.
A friend of mine had a dog that had a cough, and then he
Right.
got the cough,
Careful
and
here.
then
Okay.
he took the dog's pills.
Was his name Kramer?
It was, yeah. Oh, you know Kramer?
I've heard of him.
My friend Joe Davola. He called last night, and we got the. No, it wasn't Joe
My
Davola.
friend Bob Sacamano.
Bob Sacamano. Shit.
I thought he was Kramer's friend. He is, but he called it like 3:00 in the morning last night. We got to talking. He sells Russian hats in the park, $50.
Joe Davola was in my head because I watched that episode the other night. That's such a great episode.
Crazy Joe Davola.
Crazy Joe. When they're out in front of the theater and they discuss, and Elaine says his name, and he's like, "How do you know his name?"
I never told you his name. I never told you his name.
Oh, so good. All right, Aaron, we've really eaten into the game time, but we
All
could
right.
probably sneak one or two in, I think. What do you think?
Okay. That
Okay.
sounds fine.
All right, cool.
Okay, so we're up to I, and we'll go back to D because I made a new one, but we'll start with I tonight. And it is ice cream toppings. Yay. You
Nice.
get ice cream. What are the
All right.
toppings that you like?
This is the AOA blind top 5, where we give you 5 things and you have to blind rank them, meaning you put them in order from 1 to 5. 1, the one you love the most, 5, the one you love the least, and you don't know what's coming next.
And not to open a can of worms, did you find your Sharpie?
I texted Cuddles because it was across the room, and I texted her and made her come upstairs into the studio and get it for me and hand it to me just moments ago. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, host.
Let me tell you something. I got a real problem with her, my daughter. Like, they come in here and they just move shit around. I don't own a thing in my house. I have this little studio. Okay. I have this little tiny.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, it's their house. They can go wherever they want. But what are they doing in there?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know. Well, this is
besides moving all your shit around.
Yeah, this is like Cuddles' office too. Like, even though there is $10,000 worth of studio equipment in here, she uses this space to do work, which I get because there's no space where we could get away from the kids. So, like, and even though we tell the kids not to come in here, my daughter still comes in here and rearranges. But I'm cutting a highlight the other. We bomb Iran. I go, I'm sitting here reading it. I go, I'm just going to put out a video really quick. You just, boom. I put it out. I do the whole thing, put it out. I'm listening back to it. I'm like, why does this sound like shit? Every one of my processors is turned in a different direction. And then I go to my daughter. Were you in here turning knobs? No, that was Michael. I immediately know it's her when she, like, if she could just be like, and I didn't do it, and I'd be like, now I don't know. But when she blames him, I know immediately she did it.
I guarantee you have an old processor somewhere. Give her that. Let her play with that all day.
I know. But
you also can't tell kids that they can't go. I mean, honestly, just tell them they have to go in there for half an hour every day, and they won't do it, Aunt. You know,
you're probably right. But you know what though? It's like I rarely bitch about cuddles, but
No, you don't.
I got two. I have not one, but two, because I just got a fresh one for Father's Day this year. Coasters. These are like the kids make these like in school. Like the teachers, they make them make it and they color it. They're really nice, right? I have two coasters on my desk. I don't even need a coaster because I have these like thermos things that it doesn't drip anyway.
They don't sweat?
They don't sweat. No, they don't sweat because they're like double layered or whatever. I come up to the studio the other day, and what's right next to both coasters but a coffee cup that is dripping sweat. I said to him, I go, do you not respect wood? I'm like, what is your like? It's right next to it, just water all over the place. And I'm just like, I don't know. As I get older, I get more finicky. Like, I just want my little studio space. You know, they destroy the rest of the house. Every fucking light is on all the time. I just want my little space by myself. And I come in here and there's coloring books and there's, coffee cups and it drives me crazy.
I'm just going to tell one quick story about kids don't do. My family used to go to Maine for 2 weeks every summer because my mom's family was from there. So when we were little, we used to go for 2 weeks every summer, and we would stop at the bookstore and we would all buy a book. And every now and then, we would just, I don't know. But the point was my dad and my mom decided to share the Stephen King novel, Gerald's Game. And they told my sister and they told me, we were pretty young, and they were like, you cannot read this book. Okay. And we were like, okay. And they were like, we're not kidding. And we were like, we're not going to read it. Like, we don't want to read your stuff. God. But of course, we were reading it like every time, like we could find it, And it was kind of funny because I thought that I was like keeping it from, I was like, oh, Alexis will, I better. Anyway, the point is that I just found out like recently, I was like, did you ever read Gerald's Game? She's like, I read it that summer. I was like, so did I. They were like, we were all secretly reading Gerald's Game that summer, the entire family in Maine reading Gerald's Game because we were told not to. And I would have never picked it up if they had said, don't read it. If they had just, I wouldn't have ever. So it's my one thing. I think reverse psychology really works. Because if you told, I know for my own damn self, if Trump tomorrow made exercise illegal, I would be exercising all the time. And sometimes I try to think about that. I'm like, just pretend it's illegal. You'll do it, Aaron. Anyway. All right.
I'm
pretend it's a Trump executive order.
Maybe I should tell them that my desk is made out of vegetables or something. By the way, I have the pictures of my colon. Do you guys want to see it or no? Are we passing on that still?
I think we could probably live without that.
I just realized though that they this is disgusting. I just realized that one of the pictures is actually of my actual butthole.
Oh God!
Why would they take a picture of my butthole?
You can make your own coaster.
That seems like seems
very coming soon to the AOA shop. Anthony's butthole coasters.
Yeah,
they sweat. Sorry,
they sweat. They sweat.
Might be your funniest line ever, and I feel like I just said that to you like 2 weeks ago. So you're killing it right now, Aaron. All right, okay, here we go. So ice cream toppings, and we got to rank the ice cream toppings.
Yeah,
here we go.
So number 1 is marshmallow. Who likes that liquid marshmallow topping?
5, hate it.
What?
Hate marshmallow. Don't like
What's
marshmallow.
wrong with you?
Nope.
I remember you said you don't like Malamars. I thought that it was because of the fact that their shelf life was too long for your liking, but you just don't like marshmallow, do you?
That's part of it. Yeah, I don't like Malamars because that is like the fakest of fake marshmallows. Like it's the Meghan Markle of marshmallows.
Oh, none of this is Meghan Markle strawberry spread because some people are saying this can't be jam. You can put it on ice cream. It isn't that. Why? Don't start with me.
Yeah,
I love marshmallow.
I only like regular marshmallow, like a real marshmallow. If you toast it and you make a real legitimate s'more right then and there, that's it. That's the only way I like it.
There's a frozen yogurt place around here that has build your own, put your own toppings on, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the things in like a squeeze bottle is toasted marshmallow, and it's like a sauce that you put on it.
Yeah.
You know, like you would put chocolate sauce on it.
Yeah.
It's toasted marshmallow, and it's fucking awesome.
Really? Because that sounds disgusting to me. Because
No. Oh, you're crazy. I put marshmallow at 2.
But does it taste like I get it has the essence of it, but that's just chemicals made to trick your brain into
Oh, yeah.
thinking.
That's
Oh.
exactly what it is.
Ugh.
Give me
Not
more
Bobby
chemicals,
approved.
please.
That cannot be Bobby approved. I'll tell you that right now. Give me more chemicals.
Okay.
All right, but what are you talking about? Are you talking about that, Aaron, or just marshmallows, like little marshmallows, like in the hot
Oh, I'm
chocolate?
sorry. I was talking about the liquid marshmallow topping.
Still
like-
5 for
like
me. Either
chocolate
way, I
fudge,
hate
but-
it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Dude.
All right. Number 2 is rainbow sprinkles. Who likes the rainbow sprinkles?
That's
Rainbow
a classic. That's
Those are fun.
Was that not all of our first topping, really, when you think about it? I mean, maybe fudge, maybe, but I feel like sprinkles that's your entry level topping.
Oh yeah, that's the classic out of the ice cream truck. Yeah, a chocolate cone, vanilla cone with rainbow sprinkles. You know,
Hard or soft ice cream, although I do prefer it on soft ice cream.
soft ice cream is better with the
Yeah.
sprinkles for some reason. Yeah, I agree. Get
I'm
that
gonna
nice crunch in there.
I'm going to put rainbow sprinkles at a 2. Frank, where are you putting that?
I got it at 3, right below marshmallow.
That's fair. Oh my God, Rhonda put it at 10 on a blind top 5. She must not like the rainbow sprinkles.
Oh my god! What?
I don't like sprinkles either, and I hate when they're on donuts. I get so ticked because I always ask for not sprinkles, but sure enough, whenever I get it,
You don't like a
Sprinkles
sprinkle on a donut? Oh, I like the little crunch on the donut. Oh, I love that.
I'm in on the sprinkles. Put sprinkles on everything.
All right. Neil
Well-
says, yum, new product. Meghan Markle surprise and approved.
Oh God.
Yeah, those are fake as her. So that's a good point, though. All right. That's good.
Number 3 is chopped nuts.
No,
I agree with Frank. That's a 4 for me.
that's a 5 for me. I like peanuts and walnuts and all that stuff, but I don't like them in or on stuff. Like I prefer them not mixed with. Like I don't like them in my food. Like if I'm having dinner and they're putting walnuts on it, whatever the hell.
Okay, hang on. Hang
Not
on.
a big fan of them mixed in with stuff.
You get a good pad thai. You don't like a little peanuts on top of that pad thie? Wow, that's
I'll
shocking.
eat it. It's not my favorite thing in there. I'd rather have that than like onion, whatever. But I mean, I'll eat it and I'll enjoy it. But if I had the option, I'd probably say hold the nuts.
Bird loves chopped nuts. A lot of ones coming in for the chopped nuts. People are loving the nuts.
Not a fan of that. Nah. I'm not like if I love all pies, apple pie, pumpkin pie, pecan pie. I'm not a huge.
Oh, I love a
Nope.
pecan pie.
Yeah, I'm not the. I don't like the peanut kind of thing. I like peanuts. I like peanut butter. I like all that stuff. For some reason, when you put it in my food, I'm just not a huge fan. I'll eat it. I'm not like grossed out or anything, but I prefer not.
You prefer not? Yeah, there's something about a chop. I feel like it's always too dry for the ice cream. It's just not. It doesn't work in ice cream. for
Yeah,
me.
I'm not it takes away from me. It doesn't. I want
Okay.
a sweet dessert. I don't want peanuts on my dessert.
Agree. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right,
All right.
I put chopped nuts at 4. You put it at 5.
5.
All right, Aaron.
Okay, so the next one is kind of like what Frank was talking when you go to like a place, because this is a kind of a extra gourmet one. But who likes gummy bears on their ice cream?
I do not. I have to put it at 3 because that's the lowest spot I have. I don't. Okay, here's what's weird: gummy bears, fruit, and dairy. That's kind of a tough. Strawberries. That okay? You got this, but fake gelatinous gummy bears, and then they get cold and they get harder and more difficult to chew. No.
I'm not a
don't like
fan of gummy bears on ice cream either, but I am a fan of fruit on ice cream. You said fruit.
Like a
all
strawberry,
types of-
like a real strawberry or
anything, banana, cherries,
banana.
any
Yeah.
fruit, blueberries. You put them. You put any. I can't think of maybe apples is probably not great, but like any berries is probably going to be really good. Pineapple, I like. I like all the sweetest fruits. I'm in. I could do all fruits on a
But
thing.
but I feel like those things, everything that you just named, doesn't work on anything but vanilla ice cream.
No, you could have it on any
You're
chocolate
gonna
ice
put
cream.
pineapple on a chocolate ice cream?
Yeah,
That's absurd. That's ridiculous.
you're ridiculous.
That's the most. That's the most absurd. Pineapples on chocolate ice cream. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't work.
The difference: chocolate ice cream, vanilla ice cream.
Banana on chocolate ice cream. That can work.
See, now you're just being. Now you're just poking the bear.
No, because those two things go. You can have a chocolate covered banana. That's delicious.
I don't care.
Delightful.
Put it on anything you want. My point is, I used to get again. This was frozen back in our old neighborhood. There was like a TCBY.
Yeah.
It was. People don't know that's the country's best yogurt. I don't know if it's everywhere, but it's a yogurt place, and I used to get chocolate yogurt, frozen yogurt with pineapples, and I forget the other thing, but pineapples on the chocolate frozen yogurt was great. I mean, it's not ice cream, but it's similar.
Surprised you're not, and you're surprised that you punch nightstands nowadays. I mean, I think we can trace it back to the fucking yogurt experience.
There's probably a direct correlation there.
I'm just
All right,
making
I have
myself
number
laugh.
number one available.
Me too.
All right, let's see
And
what
I'm
we
with
got.
Rhonda here. What do you got, Aaron?
Hot fudge.
Yay, I'm
Did
in.
you do that just because of what Rhonda said?
Why would she say?
She said, "I hope hot fudge is next."
Oh, no, it was. It was.
Mm.
You know what's weird?
I-
My family used to call TCBY. I can't believe it's not yogurt. I don't
That's
really
funny.
get the joke, but we laughed back then.
Lindarella
well.
just wrote the same thing in the comments.
Really? Are you serious?
That's weird.
Swear
Yeah,
to God.
that's
a
weird.
second ago. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Wow, Lindarella, how does it
That's-
feel to be related to me?
I was just gonna say
All right.
you might be related
Yeah.
to Lindarella.
Is that cousin Lindarella out there? All right. You got time for one more or no?
Yeah, let's do it. That
Okay.
was good. I
Yeah.
want ice cream now. Is the problem with these lists?
This one's not food. This one is a John or a Jack character from a movie that you would like to partner with for a heist.
Oh.
Interesting.
All right. Once again, this is the blind ranking AOA blind top 5. So Aaron's gonna read out names, and you got to rank them without knowing what is next.
Here's my
Exactly. Now these are
Yeah.
John or Jack characters from movies you think would be good to partner with for a heist. And number 1 is John Wick. This was played by Keanu Reeves, a guy who everyone fears. John
That's
Wick.
a good one. That's a good one because you can't. That guy will. You can't beat him. He's gonna get the job done. He's kind of a loner, though. I'm gonna put him at 2.
Interesting. I have not seen any of the John Wick movies, but his reputation precedes him. I know he's a badass.
He's a badass. He's on his own, and I don't know how many people he's taken out, but it's a lot.
I'm going to put him at number 3 because I'm not too familiar, but I trust that he's going to help you out there. Even, and by the way, who's not a loner in those situations? They're all loners. The good ones are all loners.
That's true. Yeah, he doesn't work with a partner. I can't remember if he's a bad guy that was ticked off. Like he's an assassin, I think.
Mm.
But it's Keanu Reeves, so you're like, I'm on this assassin's side for some reason. You know, it's like, should I? But he's Keanu Reeves, so I guess so. So I got him at 2. I'm in at 2 with John Wick.
Okay. All right.
Okay, next one is John Rambo.
Oh, that's a good one too. See? But is he good at a heist? He's good in the wild.
Mhm.
He's good, but he's smart. He can outthink the enemy. But I don't know if he'd be as tech savvy. If we're talking bank heist or some kind of crazy thing like that, I don't think he's, going through and encryptions and all that stuff. So
Agree.
he might fail you there, but if it's just a fight, he's going to kick everyone's ass.
Yeah, I'm
So I'm
putting
going
him
to
at
put him
number.
at 3.
Say it again.
I'm putting him at 3.
I'm putting him at 4 because I feel like with those muscles, they're going to know exactly just 3 seconds of security camera footage. And they'll be like, that's John Rambo. We got to just pull over to his house. And then he's going to give you up and then it's over.
I just want to see if I have any more cousins out in the chat. Did anybody else think that movie took place in Vietnam or like South America? When Frank told me last year that it took place in the Pacific Northwest of America, I was like, no. It was
Seattle?
Like, yes.
That took place in Seattle?
It does. Takes place in Washington State.
Isn't that weird?
Very
first
weird. I thought it was
Rambo
some weird
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all takes place in a little town in Washington State. It's him returning home from Vietnam, and he's just walking through this town, and he gets hassled because of the way he looks. He's like, he's got the long hair, and he's got the army gear and everything, and he's just trying to pass through town, and they give him a tough time, and he kind of goes nuts on everybody.
I really couldn't believe it. Okay, number 3 is John McClane. That's Die Hard. For those of you who don't know that, Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
Out to the coast, have a few laughs.
I have to be honest. I'm very tempted to go 1 here. He's a cool cucumber. He rises to the occasion. There's nothing he can't handle.
That's true.
He's got a hangover and he's still making it happen.
Yeah, that's a good one because he'll get it. He has a lot of resources. He'll get the job done.
He's a cop, so he knows how to maybe outsmart the cops.
Yeah, I'm going 1 as well.
All right, because even after I said all that, I was almost gonna go 2, but I'm gonna stick with 1. I don't know if we're gonna top John McClane.
That's good. I mean, I got my 1, 2, and 3 already filled.
What's the best Die Hard?
I think the first one's probably the best.
I think it's 4. I think it's the bank heist in New York. That's my favorite one.
The bank heist in New York.
Yeah, isn't that 4 with Sam Jackson? Or is that 3?
That's 3.
That's 3?
That's
okay.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
That's my
favorite.
favorite.
That is a great.
It's a great one.
That is really good. That's true. 2, the airport. But yeah, 1 and 3, those are the best ones.
Agree. All right, Aaron.
All right, number 4 is Jack Sparrow, played by Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
5.
Not even a little bit. 5.
Ridiculous. Like, I mean,
he's gonna double cross you at every turn.
Yeah.
Number 1, and number 2, he'll get it done. He'll get himself through. He probably won't get you through.
Yeah. He's dressed like we're robbing a bank. He's dressed like a pirate. It's not gonna work. There's nothing about it that's gonna work for me.
No, I'm not trusting, and I don't trust him. He's gonna stab you in the back.
He's gonna double cross it. You're right. You're 100% right about this.
He's gonna leave you in there, lock the door, take all the gold for himself.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm with you.
Why is the rum gone? All right.
All right. And the last one it's a little bit older and a little bit more obscure, but it's Jack Ryan, he's been portrayed by a bunch of people,
Yes.
but he's basically the Clear and Present Danger, the Harrison Ford, the Hunt for Red October, Jack Ryan, CIA guy.
Love Jack Ryan. Love.
Awesome.
One of the best characters. I almost didn't put John McClane. When I had that moment of hesitation, it was because of Jack Ryan. But I got him at number 2 still, so I'm okay with that. I think it's a good. I'm pretty pleased with where this list landed for me.
I'm okay with this list. I would probably switch Jack Ryan and Rambo.
Yes.
I got Rambo at 3, Jack Ryan at 4. I'd probably switch those.
Yeah, you put Rambo too high.
Yeah, Rambo's a bit of a loose cannon.
Agree. That guy's out of his mind.
He's a little bit out of his mind. I didn't ask you. You asked me.
I don't think I've seen that movie since like '89. It's been way too long. Yeah,
Watch that.
I have not seen that movie in too long. Shit, this was fun. I don't know if let's not go for 3. I kind of want to, but it's been 2 hours.
I get that. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
Great job, Aaron.
That is so
Aaron
funny.
T, everyone. Yeah. Great movie. Watch Rambo. First Blood.
To say she doesn't like respond. I mean, I get what she's saying, but she's so good at like but that almost might be true though, because she could be executive producing like 7 games right now for 10 television networks.
I gotta tell you though, this house would fall apart. Erin
Keeps it
I
together.
don't know what I'd do without Erin in this house. To be
You
honest.
would die. I could honestly tell you, you would consume far too much Snapple, and you would completely fall apart and die.
Yeah.
Within days. Like if she left,
Oh, it wouldn't take long.
she can't go on vacation without you, because in 7 days she would come back to a dead Frank.
Oh, she's the most when we go on vacation around the house, she packs everything. She takes care of us around that. She does a lot. She does everything here. So
You're surprising no one.
no one. And another great thing she did is she wrote Oval. Great book.
Yes.
Anthony's holding it up right there. You can pick up a copy. It's available on Amazon right now. Link is in the description below. And you could download a digital copy or get yourself a hard copy like Anthony has.
There you go. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Potato salad.
Bye-bye.
Maybe we should go now. Go ahead.